Unrivaled is changing the dynamic of women's pro basketball, one conditioning session at a time. It's 10:30 p.m. on a Monday night in late January, and Kayla McBride is wiped out. Sitting down at the microphone for Unrivaled's post-game press conference, the Laces basketball club standout, affectionately called McBuckets, glances at the stat sheet in front of her in disbelief. 18 minutes. She says to reporters from news outlets including Women's Health. That's minuscule compared to how I feel. While her playing time in the Laces' 71-64 victory over Rose Basketball Club had lasted just 18 minutes and 51 seconds, with the guard leading the club with 31 points, she was absolutely gassed. McBride, a 32-year-old WNBA veteran who played the past 4 seasons with the Minnesota Lynx, averages more than 30 minutes of court time per game during the regular season. But playing in the inaugural season of Unrivaled, a full-court 3-on-3 league, feels so different, McBride says. There's a lot of miles on my body. Unrivaled games are shorter, with 7-minute quarters to the WNBA's 10. And the 72-foot-long court is more than 20 feet shorter too. While the shorter game of 3-on-3 seems like a sprint to viewers, to players, it's a marathon. With only 6 players on the court, you're always engaged in some fashion, on both ends of the ball, McBride explains. It can be exhausting. It's taxing. That's the name of the game. Before 2025, a majority of top WNBA players spent the off-season playing traditional 5-on-5 basketball in overseas leagues, which can supplement the often paltry income the world's best female athletes make in American pro leagues. For context, WNBA number 1 draft pick Caitlin Clark's 2024 rookie base salary was $76,535. In the NBA, all 30 first-round picks make no less than $2 million each. But in 2025, McBride's Lynx teammate Napheesa Collier, along with New York Liberty forward Breanna Stewart, founded Unrivaled to give players an opportunity to make the highest-ever salaries in women's team sports, an average of $222,222 for about 3 months, while also allowing them to stay stateside and compete with and against top-tier talent. We want everyone to have the option, Stewart told Boy in April 2024 after raising more than $35 million in funding for the venture. Unrivaled aims to quite literally provide players with an unrivaled experience, from state-of-the-art fitness and recovery equipment to paid-for housing and childcare services. 8 of the 36 players are moms, including Collier and Stewart. The facilities are in Bad Caliber, says Lindsay Elizondo, a physical therapist and athletic trainer who spent the past 4 seasons working with the Orlando Magic and now serves as Director of Medical for Unrivaled. These are the best athletes in the world, and they deserve access to the best things in the world, and to not have to be searching for it, she says. It should just be at their fingertips to let them perform at that level. And with strong infrastructure in place to support these athletes, high-level output quickly follows. Sure, the extra conditioning required to maintain stamina in a fast-paced 3-on-3 game may hurt in the moment, but Unrivaled's inaugural season is quickly proving that it is here to forever change the dynamic of women's basketball. What it takes to be great. For Vinyl Basketball Club's Eric Ogunbowale, the Dallas Wings guard who broke the WNBA All-Star Game record for most points scored this past summer, training for Unrivaled began in the fall when she became the first player to sign on for the league. And the conditioning, from on-court skill work and high-intensity one-on-ones to the occasional run, is no joke. I don't think anybody loves cardio, she says, but I know it's things I need to do to be elite. While some players genuinely love hitting the gym, Collier is not one of them. I do it because I want to be really, really good, she tells Boy, and she is. The Lunar Owls basketball club star is currently leading Unrivaled players in average points per game. McBride is right behind her. But when I'm done playing, you're not going to catch me on a treadmill. The Unrivaled Performance Center in Miami is, in fact, equipped with a treadmill, as well as an elliptical, a ski erg, and multiple stationary bikes. But players say that, fortunately, they don't have to do a ton of dedicated cardio to stay in shape now that the season is in full swing. And during the Lunar Owls preseason prep, we just played games, Collier says. Starting on day 1, the club would play full 7-minute quarters to get in the 3-on-3 rhythm. That is all the cardio you need because you're just going up and down the court. It takes your mind off of it, for sure. For Collier, gym time with her teammates is pretty much the only way you can get her to enjoy working out, and it's become a daily ritual for them. And that teamwork, on and off the court, has been key for the 10-1 Lunar Owls, who clinched the number 1 overall seed in the Unrivaled playoffs, beginning in mid-March. We're one of the only teams that are taking advantage in that way, she says. I think it's one of the reasons why we're doing so well. We're in the gym every day trying to get better together. Collier and Ogunbowale, both 28, agree that one of the best parts of the league is getting to work out alongside legendary players from different WNBA teams. You get to see other elite athletes' routines, players that are older than you, players that are younger than you, Ogunbowale says. She's found it valuable to share gym space with the likes of 3-time WNBA champion Chelsea Gray and 11-year veteran Alyssa Thomas, who both remain top threats in the league. You would never see what they do before the game or after a game, and you get to learn from them. Collier, who played with both Gray and Thomas on Team USA's 2024 gold medal-winning Olympic team, says her time around the best of the best has taught her the importance of a holistic fitness routine. You see how much they prepare their bodies, she says. That is really what sets you apart and allows you to have a long career. The way that they treat their bodies before and after being in the gym. In their recovery era, if you work hard, you have to recover hard too. And that's something Collier and Stewart deeply understood when they dreamed up their new facilities. We have top-of-the-line recovery partnerships like Lexie Hull. We have top-of-the-line equipment that we use, top-of-the-line trainers, Collier says. We try to be elite because we're training elite people. Players have been open about the fact that Unrivaled's gym and recovery facilities are often a level up from those of their WNBA clubs. Even on players' off days, it's not uncommon to see them milling around the Doral, Florida headquarters and taking advantage of amenities like hot and cold tubs, infrared saunas, massages, and esthetician services. We get to work out, use the weight room, create new bonds/friendships, get treatment, get massages, use the sauna, getting 2 meals a day, and then a facial before I leave for the day. Rose Basketball Club forward Angel Reese tweeted at the beginning of the season, "Yeah, I love it here. I use the sauna every day, and we don't have that one right now at Dallas. We'll get it in our new facility next year," Ogunbowale says. The Wings plan to move into their new home for the 2026 WNBA season. At Unrivaled, we have every recovery tool we need. It is perfect. Missed Basketball Club forward Aaliyah Edwards tells War the sauna and contrast tubs are her favorite parts of the facilities. Other than the weather, the Ontario native says, Canada's looking a bit brick right now. Elizondo considers the work done by the league's medical and training teams both a science and an art, matching the many kinds of recovery tools available to them, foam rolling, yoga, Pilates, plunges, vitamin D, with players' individual needs. That's one of the things I think Unrivaled has done really well, she says. They can offer what's the best recovery for you and not just this is what we have. Collier admits that she didn't prioritize daily treatments and recovery before starting Unrivaled, but access to all the shiny new toys provides motivation to stick with it. The forward is prioritizing preventive treatment on her joints and uses icy hot contrast therapy on her knees daily. Complementary products are available to players in the recovery room. I'm really in my treatment era right now, she says. Ogunbowale is also focused on her knees, as well as her hips and tendons, and loves incorporating moves like isometric holds for prehab purposes. Both players recently partnered with Icy Hot and teamed up to surprise the training staff with $10,000 bonuses on International Women's Day to thank them for their hard work and support. The gesture was, in part, inspired by Collier, who donated half of her $200,000 winnings from Unrivaled's mid-season one-on-one tournament to the assistant coaches and support staff who have helped advance her game. I just feel like we have all the tools here to be successful. If I'm not using them, I'm doing a disservice to myself, Collier says. I've been really intentional about that. Surprising keys to success. It's often all the little things outside of the gym that make the biggest difference in long-term success at hitting fitness goals, and that's true for both everyday athletes and elite ones. Factors like sleep, fuel, and family support can be literal game changers for recovery. Even though you might not have played a game, but you have an 18-month-old that didn't sleep last night, you're not going to practice well. That's part of it, Elizondo says. It's not like you do everything at practice, and it's perfect, and you go out and the rest of your life is perfect. You have to marry all those things together. You can't just turn that piece off. Daycare services were a huge priority for Collier and Stewart when launching Unrivaled, especially considering that players relocated their entire families to Miami to play there for the season. The facilities have a fully staffed nursery, playroom, and nursing space, just steps from the practice court and recovery rooms, and the league also provided furnished housing for all players. Childcare is a huge mental load that's taken care of, says Collier, whose daughter Mila will turn 3 in May. Not having to worry about that allows me to focus on the game and focus on my job, and gives me the time to do the recovery stuff I'm talking about. I'm not rushing back, skipping doing things for myself because I want to make sure that my child's okay. It really does help you become so much better. Staying rooted in Miami also eliminates constant travel, a recovery speed bump. Think about how your body felt the last time you got off a long-haul flight, then imagine playing a sport at an elite level hours later. You know your schedule, but it's still more taxing on the body, Ogunbowale says. At Unrivaled, teams consistently play 2 games a week on either Friday, Saturday, or Monday. In the WNBA, they might be flying on back-to-back days with games in between. You have to get on a plane every single time, she says. Here, you just come to work, play a game, go home, and you never have to fly. This reduced travel allows Unrivaled players to better focus on things that tend to fall to the bottom of the priority list. Eating and sleeping are the 2 best recovery tools. Everything else we have augments that, Elizondo says. So in these games where we might be a little bit fatigued, we're playing a little bit more. Where it's running up and down and people are hitting the floor all the time, if we're not getting that baseline, all the other stuff doesn't hit as well. On-site, players' nutrition is top of mind. In the Players' Lounge, coolers are stocked with multiple brands of ready-made protein shakes and Body Armor electrolyte drinks, while players-only shelves are packed with everything from fresh fruit and almond butter packets to honey stinger chews, protein bars, goldfish, pretzels, and popcorn. Healthy meals are also catered twice a day by universally beloved personal chef Nick Arcuri, who designed the nutrition program for the Boston Celtics on their 2024 NBA championship run. He makes simple, protein-packed crowd pleasures like Hawaiian grilled chicken for the Unrivaled players. When I say amazing chef, it's really hard to please a lot of people food-wise, and I don't think he's missed, Elizondo says. We wanted to elevate the level of food. That's part of your recovery. The future of the game. Unrivaled has undoubtedly created a ripple effect among other professional basketball leagues, and it's not just visible in the higher salaries and better contracts both overseas and domestically. It's also apparent in the players themselves, who benefit from the intense off-season conditioning and wellness focus. You are already seeing the ecosystem changing, Collier says. She and Stewart also serve as vice presidents of the Women's National Basketball Players Association, which will be negotiating a new collective bargaining agreement with the WNBA at the end of this year. Unrivaled is going to be a bargaining chip for us, not only what it is to treat women athletes salary-wise, but how they should be treated overall, Collier says, adding that top-tier facilities and holistic support for players is not something that should be afforded only to men's pro teams. This is the standard that we're trying to make, and that's something that we definitely have to change. Collier is excited to see how much players' skills have improved by the time Unrivaled hosts its first championship game on March 17. Personally, she believes her body will be performing at its all-time best and that her fellow players have been training for the same standard, especially because they all have an ownership stake in the league. We need to do everything we can to make this thing keep going, so that means the games need to be competitive, she says. You have a cut in this business, so we need it to grow and need people to watch. With roughly 36 of the world's top players competing together in this format, WNBA play should be even more elevated when the season tips off in May. The format of the game is just built for you to hone and get better at your skills. Collier says of playing 3-on-3. With fewer teammates around, the ball is in each player's hands more frequently, and every minute on the court counts like never before. Your ball handling is forced to get better. Your defense is forced to get better. Your IQ is forced to get better. The catch will be whether players can keep up their conditioning and